that we have. Hello, my friend Michelle. How are you today?
I'm good. Trying to stay warm. It's 10 degrees here in Michigan.
I don't want to know what it is. I have no idea what the temperature is here. I am still in my warm sweats because it is cold and snowy here in Massachusetts. And for those of you that don't know us, I am Cari-Lynn Fisher. I am a leader with Epicure from Massachusetts, originally a New Yorker, once a New Yorker, always a New Yorker. And today we are here to sort of just share a little bit about health and wellness and how the big picture fits in with Epicure. So I'd like to introduce to you my friend and brand new 3,000 point achiever fast start. I don't even know what we're calling it anymore. Jump start achiever. She did it in record time. I'm so excited for her. Michelle, she's a graduate of the Institution of Nutrition, and we met 10 years ago in the wellness space. Maybe longer than that. I don't even know. I can't keep track. And Michelle's
That
been
was
in the
more than
wellness
that.
space for longer than that. What did you say? 30 years in the wellness space?
Yeah.
Fitness, massage, nutrition, uh personal training, all this. So I'm gonna let you introduce yourself because you do it better than I do. And then I'm gonna ask you a lot of questions.
All right. Well, Carrie and I met through another company, and we kept in touch over the years. But she invited me here today because I have been like she said, the wellness space. So I graduated from the Institute for Integrative Nutrition in New York. And I have I'm a massage therapist, a licensed massage therapist, and a personal trainer. And I've been doing this all for about 30 years. So nutrition and wellness is my jam. So the Epic Life program was very exciting to me because I really like the whole concept about it. So that's what we're going to talk about.
All right, so on that concept there, Michelle, let's start with my first favorite question. What is the importance of exercise for healthy lifestyle? And the reason I wanted to ask this of you is because I've had a lot of people who are like, well, it's all about just the food and what's on your plate. That's what Epic Life is. And I'm like, no, you have to have it all. So why don't we start with that? Why is fitness and exercise important?
Well, I mean, on the one hand, nutrition, if you talk about fitness and nutrition is the biggest portion because you can't out exercise a bad diet. So we've talked about that. So, yes, that and the whole plating concept is really great. But moving your body is a huge component because we need to keep our muscle and we need to keep ourselves healthy by moving more. Your mind body connection is affected by exercise. All of your hormones are improved with exercise, your hormone balance. So, and that's all going to fit into your overall wellness.
So speaking of overall wellness, for those of you that don't know me, I have been borderline diabetic since before my children were born and was borderline gestational diabetes. And this past year has been a little chaotic with that. And one of the biggest things Michelle and I have recently talked about is insulin resistance and blood sugar, and really why she liked the Epic Life program and the fact that she can't snack in the middle of the day. She's working really hard about that. So why don't we touch on that for a minute before we go back to the fitness in this healthy lifestyle?
Yeah, yeah, as Carrie said, I work from home and I have for about 7 years. And it's really easy to go into that fridge between my massage clients or my fitness clients and, just kind of pick. I find that I'm a emotional eater, nervous, I did with, nerves, not necessarily boredom, but for sure when I'm stressed. So that's something that I'm working on. And that's what the whole thought process behind having that, okay, let's do 3 meals a day. There's so many different thought processes about nutrition out there. You're going to hear, fast for X amount of hours. You're going to hear, have 8 small meals a day. You're going to hear just a whole plethora of stuff that is confusing. It's really confusing. So if you're just starting, the Epic Life program is such a really good baseline. 3 meals a day, no snacking. is really going to help us to manage blood sugar, because we're not going to have those insulin spikes, or you're not going to have that constant blood sugar elevation so that you have a crash. So, the concept is really good, and it's a really good way to get yourself started if you've been struggling.
I think that's great, which then I think leads us to going back to it's all part of a healthy lifestyle. But I am, and again, I am that girl who likes to get up at 5:30 in the morning. And up until last year, I did. And I worked out. Why? Because no one else was awake. It was quiet. It was my time. And you are correct. I felt fabulous afterwards. The endorphins were going, whether it was I took the dog for a long walk or I took the weights out or I got on my bike. But this last year with the chaos, I prioritized sleep because for me, since before Joey being pregnant, oh no, sleep and I are not friends. And for me, I flipped this, and my goal for January was to focus on stretching because my muscles are super tight. And I decided to do it at night before I went to bed, which has been super helpful. But again, I am the girl who, and I can see my bike from here, who wants to ride the bikes, do the step, but not everybody is me. And you know what? Right now, I'm not that girl right now. So when we talk about the importance of fitness, what can somebody do, whether they're like you and me who works at home or just isn't a gym rat or doesn't want to go to the gym or, doesn't have a bike or a TRX or weights? Like, what can they do?
Well, there's great evidence that talks about just short bursts of exercise. Getting out, if you work in an office, getting up and walking around the office to deliver a letter or a document instead of emailing it, or taking the stairs instead of the elevator. Just little things. Setting a timer, just getting up and kind of walking around your desk even.
The person who parks all the way in the back of the parking lot and then walks.
Yep. Grocery store, just moving more, doing more activity. I find that when the weather's nice, right now we just got like 17 inches of snow this last couple of days, plus 3 more yesterday. You should see my deck. Anyway, so going outside for me is probably not going to happen easily without me piling clothes on. But but I can go downstairs, walk up the stairs. This morning, I didn't sleep very well last night, so I didn't want to do a hard workout. So I took the 7-minute workout that was in our book, and I just put on some music and I did every single move and I danced in between them. So it ended up to be 15 minutes. It got movement, and you don't have to do anything crazy. It's just moving more. And then that feeds into, okay, you know what? I'm feeling better. I'm feeling stronger. My heart is feeling, I'm not losing my breath, walking 5 steps. Then you can do more. It all stacks on top of itself.
So Michelle, that 7-minute workout that you're talking about, it's actually in the old Epic Life book, but if you are in the Epic Life Challenge group, it is posted there. Because you said that to me, you're like, it's in the book. And I'm like, I printed the book. I don't see it.
And well, I bought the book.
You bought the book from the old version, which has great recipes and great things. I have mine. I looked, I'm like, that's what I'm like. It's not in the one I printed, but for everybody else, I will pop a copy of it with this video so that you can see what Michelle's talking about, because it's actually fantastic. And I agree, like, put the music on. Like, you have to have music to work out. I don't understand, but everybody's different. These people that can weight train or walk the treadmill with like nothing.
Or a podcast.
I don't get it. It's not me. I don't know.
Maybe what we can do is do a couple different videos of different levels of, like, do one with just very walk level, or even chair. There's you don't have to be standing. So if you're not at the point where you can do a lot standing, maybe you have different challenges with your legs or whatever. Sit down, do move your arms, just anything that's going to get your heart rate up. It doesn't have to be burpees right off the bat.
So it's interesting, Michelle, that you said that. I actually did like a little workout that I found, YouTube, Peloton, I don't remember where it was, but it actually was a core workout standing. And I always think core like planks, laying on the floor. And I actually woke up the next day and the day after that, because for those of you that don't know, it's the second day on your muscles. That's always, and it was all standing stuff. Like, and I can't do it because I'm sitting in a chair in my tiny little office, but like things where you like just reach down this way. And I was like, this is simple and easy. And the next day I was like, oh my God, that hurt. So yeah, I mean, what can people use though? Again, if they don't have, weights, but they want to do a little bit of, like you said, sitting in a chair, you can do bicep curls or weight training. But if you don't have weights,
Body weight is super simple. Use a counter, do push-ups, use just use the wall, do wall sits, squats, lunges, all those kinds of things. If you feel like you want something a little bit more, Carrie had mentioned that she has used soup cans before. You could use, jugs. Yeah. Fill up water bottles. Anything that's going to add a little bit of resistance can help. If you have bands, use bands.
I totally forgot about those, and I have tons of those.
Yep, bands. I mean, a lot of us have gone through physical therapy, so you probably have something laying around. Balls. You can use, just kind of squeeze a ball and, one of your kids' basketballs or Nerf balls or something, use it between your knees and do squats or knee squeezes. There's so many things you can do but body weight is probably one of the best. Gravity, so.
I love this. Okay, so we've got places to start. We've got ideas of things people can do at home. We talked about why it's really good to move more. But when you say move more, what do you mean?
Just, standing instead of sitting. You could stand up, like we could be standing right now talking instead of sitting in chairs. Again, like I said, if you work in an office, just get out of your seat, step away from your phone, step away from your desk, just, and it doesn't have to be long. You can do 51-minute bouts.
Okay, so I'm going to reverse that then. You are correct. We totally could be standing, except that I'm at my desktop and I would be above the computer. That's why I'm
I know,
sitting.
me too.
I actually had to lower the chair to make sure I was in the camera. But let's reverse this, because a lot of people eat on the run or stand in the kitchen. I am that girl. I make my salad and then I'm like doing dishes and I'm eating. Is that a good idea?
That's mindless. So that's one thing so one of the things about Epic Life as well that we have to think about is that we're trying to change habits. So the reason that we have health challenges of whatever they are is because, and we're trying to kind of rein them in, is because, and fix them, is because we've let ourselves do things that are put us into this position, whether it's mindless eating or, like me, nervous snacking or not exercising. And then you get into that pain loop where, you haven't exercised because you were in pain, but now you're in pain because you haven't exercised. So now you don't want to start because you're in pain. And that's not just pain. It could just be overall health and just not feeling good. So habit change is one of the big things. So, that like you eating at the sink, that's something that you could work on, okay, you know what, you notice it because it's a habit, you just start doing it automatically. You stop yourself and you say, okay, I've got to sit down, take your plate to the table or your counter, have a seat, eat your food, enjoy your food. So your brain connects that. You just, you're not just, because sometimes we shovel it in without thinking about it, right? Same thing with exercise. When we're laying on the couch thinking, oh, I'm going to watch another Netflix, but you haven't moved very much today. Maybe you have your Apple Watch or your Fitbit or whatever, and it's yelling at you. We have to be mindful, especially to start, to say, okay, you know what? I'm going to do 5 minutes. I'm going to march in place, or I'm going to put on one song and I'm just going to dance or whatever, play with the dog, play with the kids, do something. And that, again, all these things are going to stack on each other. And that's the whole idea behind this. They say this is about feeling good, and it's about changing habits, because if we don't change the habits, we're going to be back at square one.
Well, and I think I love that. I think what I love for me about the Epic Life Challenge and just about Epicure as a whole is that we're talking about the big picture. And for me, for 2020, what year are we? 2024. Like for me, 2024, I had to look at the big picture. Like my life is chaotic. And if it wasn't chaotic, I'd be really unhappy and bored. So I need to be doing, going with the kids and myself and whatever. But in the same right, I also had to go. And for my business, I'm really good. I'm like, okay, this time is for this. I had to go back to being like, okay, this is my time to work out. This is my time for self care. This is my time for chatting with Michelle about whatever we're going to chat about today. And I think people need to remember that. And even if it is, you're going to watch Netflix during my Netflix, that is my time to get in 100 steps, whether it's my husband laughs, I walk around the bed, back this way, go this way, but I got my 100 steps. Like that was my goal during whatever we were doing. And I think sometimes it is those tiny little things. So, I mean, for me, it was I love salads, but I have a salad at dinner. Now my, thing in November was I'm gonna have a salad with lunch and a salad with dinner, not just a vegetable. And like you said, stacking those things. So it was one thing. Then it was bringing back my water, which I got really bad at. That was December. And now January is 15 to 20 minutes of stretching every night before bed. So again, it's those little things and they add up to make this big, big scene. So on that note, my friend Michelle, do I get to tell the how Michelle ignored Carrie about Epicure story, or are we going to skip that and just go right to why Michelle likes Epicure?
It's your show.
So for those that don't know, I introduced Michelle to Epicure because I reached out because I was like, the worst thing she can say to me is no. And she actually didn't say no. She's like, oh, this looks really kind of cool. And I bet you my clients who don't like to cook. Yeah, that was 2 years ago. And then I touched back with Michelle and she was like, yeah, I'll get back to you. And then randomly Michelle reached out to me because she used a packet one day. And here we are 3 months later. I don't even know how many months later it was. I was in Iceland. It was chaos. Again, my life was crazy. But what was the change for you, Michelle? Like, why did you all of a sudden go, ooh, not only for me and my family, my husband, my clients, like you have tons of clients who don't eat. What's the benefit of an Epicure meal solution, an Epicure jar, an Epicure recipe?
Well, a lot of them they don't cook. They think that they don't they think cooking is too hard. They think cooking takes too long. They think it's one more thing to do. And one of the things that I talk to my clients about is you have to cook. You have to. Restaurants aren't doing us any favors. Fast food isn't doing us any favors. You have to cook. To if you want to be healthy, if you want to get healthier. Um, so but that's why I was interested in it. It's just life, and I lots of chaos in my life as well. So when I finally decided to try one, and my husband and I were like, wow, this is really good. And my thought was, I do know how to cook, so I don't need the packets, or I don't, I didn't really realize about the spice jars. I really didn't look at it. So to be honest with you, so I so there were, I think I bought 3 of them from you. So we made the other 2, and the other 2, whatever they were really good. We really liked them. So I thought, you know what, this is this. Then I looked at the website. So don't give up on people. Then I looked at the website and I'm like, oh wow, there's a lot here. Because if you do have people that like to cook, the spice jars are perfect. Because you might not need a meal solution, because I like to throw things together. I don't always have, but we have, what we have been enjoying is the range of meals that we've been able to have with the packets that I normally wouldn't pull from a recipe, because the list is this long.
So it's
So
interesting that you say that. My kids love General Gals. And I one day, I don't know, 5, 6 pre Epicure hitting the United States, found a recipe that sounded really good. Yeah, I had 14 jars that were, all different sizes that I never used again because I was like,
right.
what am I going to use these? Finally, one day I was like, all right, clean the spice jar out. And I love to cook and I threw them out. Now my kids make General Gals all the time because I don't have to think about it. With shrimp, with chicken, like they change it up. They've turned it into orange chicken, got rid of the ketchup in the recipe, put orange juice. Oh, wait, we don't have any orange juice, but we have oranges. We can squeeze them. Like we figure it out. But I think that that's it. Like you have a starting place. You have a place to
Mhm.
go if you're not someone or you're super busy. But I think the bigger thing is that it's not just what's in the packet. You still have to
It's a
fill
good
your plate.
base. Mhm.
Right. You still have to fill your plate with those salads, the vegetables. Yesterday I did polenta and then I was like, okay, what am I doing with it? And I decided to shrimp and tomatoes, uh and spinach in the oven. I found a recipe. I use the Epicure's garlic for the spice, the jarred
Mhm.
garlic. Went in the oven, and then I had a salad and salad dressing. So again, dinner's not always a meal solution, but sometimes part of it is, sometimes it's not. And on that note, what other parts of this? So we have filling your plate with the right things, not snacking in the middle of the day, getting some sort of movement. What is the benefit to all of these things for the overall health picture, especially for people as they're aging? Like you and I've talked about,
Right.
weight training is great for someone, whether it's body weight or not, because you need to build muscle. But what's the benefit of that? And then the big picture, what's the benefit of all of these things as we slowly add them? Because, like you said, you can't add them all at
Right.
once.
Yeah, you don't want to overwhelm yourself. Well, I mean, bottom line, it's disease risk, lowering disease risk. Where, when we more and more experts are talking about managing blood sugar is of epic of proportions. Keeping that blood sugar, getting rid of sugar, period, is huge for our health. Number two is, well, maybe number one. I don't know what that probably is number one. But number two is going to be muscle, 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 muscle. And, as women, I mean, I don't know about you. Well, yeah, we're about this. We're in the same range of age. I think you're a lot younger than me, but,
I'm not that much younger than you, but you can, whatever.
but we all grew up in the 80s, 90s and aerobics, and it was all aerobics, run, 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 elliptical, do all the cardio, 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 and we lost muscle. So we kind of didn't do ourselves any favors doing all of that and dieting, because that's what we did, diet, 500 calories, 600 calories, 1200 calories. So now we have to try to fight to get that muscle back. So the muscle is what they are finding is that people that have muscle are more cognitively healthy as they age, and of course physically healthy. So we're thinking in the long term here, not just to fit into a skinny jeans. We're thinking of mental health. So we are less likely, hopefully, to get dementia and Alzheimer's, and we're more likely to stay healthy and strong and fit to do what we want to do, live in our own homes, being able to care for ourselves as we age. That's the bottom line for me. I mean, I love skinny jeans just as much as anybody else.
I actually
but
hate skinny jeans.
being healthy as we age is huge, and just being able to maintain that level of healthy function is
Well, I
what
think
we're
that's
going for.
I think that's, like that's a big part of this. Like balance is key, but again, just that little bit. Yes, I am the girl who, I don't know, I think I was in seventh grade. It was the first time I walked into a gym. Step class was my partner in crime. I loved it. Jane Fonda with my mom, all of those, right?
Mhm.
But you're correct. And it's interesting. Prior to getting sick last year, I started a weight training program, and it was body weight because Michelle and I've talked, for those that don't know what a TRX is, it's all about doing body weight.
Mhm.
And what a game changer for me, like you said, like mental clarity. Until you just said that, I never realized it. Like when I used to get up, and that wasn't early morning for me. That was like my 10:30 in the morning. Like, I'm gonna go do a little weight training. Like all of a sudden I could get the rest of my stuff done because my brain was like clear. And I never really thought about that, like how much that changed. Where last year when I was doing none of that at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, all I wanted to do was do this and take a nap and be done for the day.
Yeah. And there's good evidence as well about working out before you eat, like first thing in the morning, so that you're using all that cortisol and stuff that you're kind of starting your day and starting to level out that cortisol so it can be more even, so you don't start out with a cortisol spike and then or go opposite, which blood sugar, cortisol, especially as we age, is going to be out of balance. And then we all live stressful lives. So, exercise, that's another thing, we got to think about. So if you are super stressed and you're kind of getting into that perimenopause or menopausal time frame, you know, our exercise needs change from when we were in our 20s. So if you're in your 20s and 30s, you have a lot more wiggle room. So to do all the HIIT workouts and all the, you know, the cross training and the things. But once you're starting to go to the other side, to the, no, I will not say the dark side. I think it's the better
It
side
is the
after you
better
get
side,
figured
Michelle.
out.
The better side of life.
Yeah. So, you know, it's, you know, we have to really kind of pick and choose. And, you know, if you're sore, here's another thing when you're working out. So if you're starting to a workout program with this, especially if you're over 40, if you've done a workout and you're really sore the next day, give yourself an easy day. You know, maybe if you have another hard workout planned, don't do it. Let your body recover, because we need to completely recover. It takes us longer. You know, the older we get, it takes us longer to recover. And if
But
you
you're
have other
not
kinds
telling
of
us not to work out the next day. You're telling us an easy workout. So what would that
easy
be? Like
workout,
stretching?
walking, stretching, yep, maybe some easy yoga, you know, a dance work. I've done, you know, something fun, hula hooping, I don't
I really
know.
want to turn the music on right now and dance because like that totally, I'm like, it makes you want to move.
That's
So
right. So
Michelle, I think this is great information. And I think when you look at the big picture of all this, like I think it's interesting and an interesting perspective. And the key that you just said is in my 20s, the 500-calorie diet, the 800-calorie, like that this is not any of that. It is really looking at changing the big picture, all the different pieces to it. And it's a puzzle. And you have to figure out how all those pieces in the puzzle fit and making the time. And I think we as women, but we as a society don't make the time for those things. And
well, we want a quick fix too. So, you know,
but I
but
mean, I go to the pool with Juliana or the ice rink with Joey, and a lot of times I sit there and I'm reading my book and whatever, and I need my book time. I need to clear my brain. Like, but I can lap the ice rink or lap the pool, and I don't mean swim. I mean just get the steps in. So
mhm.
maybe for somebody like me, or you know, kind of like the walking from the far part of the parking lot, is to instead of read for an hour, maybe I walk for 20 minutes and then I get my reading in.
Yeah,
So again, I still get my happy place, which is my book. I want to read my book. It's when I can do it because
that
again,
will
it's
be
quiet.
your prize.
Right. But it's my hour where there's no one bothering me. I'm in the car, it's quiet, or I'm hiding in the office. But
Mhm.
again, we all can squeeze 20 minutes of something, and it's finding the time to squeeze that something in.
Even if you do it in 5-10 minute bouts, you know, you can break it up. It's just moving more. And, you know, obviously if you can get your heart rate up at one time, that's good. That's really good for your heart and, you know, your lungs and all that kind of stuff. But um, just getting that extra movement in. There's also really good research that talks about taking a walk after dinner. You know, if you have that option, you know, 30-minute easy walk, not power walking, because you want to start, you know, bringing your cortisol down for bedtime. But and that's going to help to use the extra sugar and everything that might be flowing in your system after dinner. So it's going to help to burn some of that off. So when you go to bed, you don't have extra circulating blood sugar. So that's
Great
another really good
information.
way to. Mhm.
All right, so I think we covered lots of good stuff. We looked
Yeah.
at all the things that come with having an epic life. What should be on your plate, the no snacking, how to squeeze in those little bit of workouts and the benefits to them. And I want to thank you for doing this with me and have a fabulous day, my friend. And stay warm in the snow because I'm looking out my window. Yeah, I'm not going out there. Staying in my sweatpants, keep it
It's
nice
up to
and
my
warm.
knees over here.
I got the heater right here. Like, this is why I'm hiding here. There's a heater right here. I don't lie. All right, have a great day. Love you.
Bye. You too.